All right, let's get right into it. So, your company just rolled out a brand new, top-of-the-line AI tool. You know, the enterprise version with all the bells and whistles and security promises. But what if I told you that very tool is creating a massive professional blind spot? One that could seriously put your career on the line.
So, let me ask you, straight up, do you really think that company AI tool is 100% safe for your day-to-day work? I mean, every single thing you do? The honest answer is probably no, and we're about to break down exactly why.
And right here, this is where we find this huge gap in how we're all thinking about AI safety. See, your company's contract with the AI provider, it covers all the techie stuff. You know, encryption, where the data is stored, making sure the service is running. That's their side of the bargain. But what it doesn't cover, what it really can't cover, is your personal, professional responsibility. Things like your duty of care to a client, your own liability, that promise of confidentiality you made, yeah, all of that is still 100% on your shoulders. So the tool itself might be locked down and secure, but how you use it, well, that's a whole different story.
And listen, this is not some abstract what-if scenario. This blind spot, it's already caused some pretty catastrophic, very public failures. So let's take a look at what actually happens when smart, capable professionals make some really bad choices with AI.
This right here is a quote straight from a federal judge. You might have heard of this one, the now infamous Mata versus Avianca case. Here's the deal. A lawyer used a public AI for some legal research, and the AI, well, it just went ahead and made things up. Completely fabricated cases, fake quotes, the whole 9 yards. The lawyer didn't check it, submitted the work, and boom. He got hit with serious court sanctions and, you can imagine, a massive professional black eye. He put his trust in the tool, but at the end of the day, he was the one responsible for what it spit out.
And hey, this isn't just a problem for lawyers. Just look at Samsung back in 2023. We're talking about their engineers, people who are about as tech-savvy as it gets, right? They were using a public AI to help debug some code, and in doing that, they accidentally pasted chunks of their own secret proprietary source code right into the chat. The leak was immediate. It's just a crazy reminder that if the people who literally build and understand this stuff can slip up like that, then, well, any one of us can.
So you're probably wondering, how does this happen so easily? Well, just look at this comparison right here. The prompt on the left, it looks pretty anonymous, doesn't it? There's no company name. But look at the details when you put them all together. A tech company with 200 employees, a London office, specifically the software team that just lost a major client. That combination creates what's essentially a unique digital fingerprint. If you have any inside info at all, you know exactly who they're talking about. Now look at the S.A.F E prompt on the right. It takes that specific problem and turns it into a general question. You get the same essential legal info, but without leaking a single drop of confidential data.
Okay, so with all these risks, what do? How do you actually protect yourself? Well, the answer isn't to just stop using these incredibly powerful tools. The answer is to start using them like an expert. And the way to do that is with a systematic framework. Think of it like your own personal protection protocol that puts you firmly back in the driver's seat. We call it the S.A.F.E method.
It's super straightforward, really. Just 4 simple steps. First up is secure. This is all about protecting your data. You have to stop and think about what could identify your client or company before a single word gets typed. Second, adapt. This means fitting the AI into your workflow where it makes sense. Use it for what it's great at, and don't try to jam a square peg in a round hole. Third, and this is a big one, fine-tune. You have to meticulously review and tailor every single thing it gives you. We already saw how it can be totally wrong with a straight face, so your expert eye is absolutely essential. And last, execute. You take that AI-assisted work and you implement it, knowing full well that you, not the machine, are the professional who's ultimately in charge. And to make this even easier to apply day to day, you can think about your work in 3 different security levels. First, you've got basic level. This is for your general professional development, messing around with public info, zero confidential stuff. Then there's the safe level. This is for real-world tasks, but only after you have systematically stripped out every single piece of identifying info. And finally, you have ultra-safe. This is for your most high-stakes, sensitive matters. Here, you have to completely abstract the situation into a general principle before you even think about asking the AI.
All right, now let's go behind the scenes a little bit. Let's pull back the curtain and look at the technical reasons why all these precautions are so incredibly important. Because once you understand how these systems really handle your data, you'll see why this is all so necessary.
Okay, to get this, there's one really critical distinction you need to wrap your head around. On one hand, you have training data. Think of this as the gigantic public library of information they used to build the AI in the first place. But then you have inference data, and that is everything you type into the box and everything it gives you back. That's your data. The real risk we're talking about today isn't that your prompt will train the next public model. It's about what happens to your very own inference data in the here and now.
Now, you've probably heard this line from every single AI company out there. And you know what? Technically, it's true. They are not taking your company's secret strategy doc and feeding it into the next version of their public AI. But that statement, it is so dangerously misleading because it conveniently leaves out what they are doing with your data.
So here's the reality check. Your prompts, they're being scanned for safety. They're being sampled for quality assurance. They're being checked to prevent abuse. Now, these are all perfectly valid reasons from their end, but what it means for you is that your data, your confidential questions, can be, and sometimes are, reviewed by actual human beings at the AI company. So that sensitive prompt you just wrote, it's not in some secure, sealed-off block box. Nope, it's being processed, it's being stored, and yeah, it could be seen by someone.
And it's not just about human review. There's another huge risk, the digital paper trail you're leaving behind. Every single time you interact with that AI, you're creating metadata, your user ID, the exact time, your whole session. That trail can paint a very clear picture of your work patterns, or even your research strategy on a sensitive project. And if things go south and you end up in a lawsuit, guess what could be requested during discovery? Yep, those logs. And since this data is often stored for 30 days, sometimes more, it means your work is just sitting there, exposed, for a pretty long time.
So after hearing all that, I wouldn't blame you if you wanted to just unplug the AI and walk away. But don't do that. Seriously. Because understanding these risks, truly getting them, is the first step to flipping this whole thing around and turning it into a massive professional advantage for you. This isn't about being scared or restricted. It's about becoming a genuine expert.
So how do you actually put this into practice every day? It all boils down to one simple, powerful principle. A mantra, really. Abstract, don't describe. Your job is to take a very specific, confidential client problem and transform it into a general, professional question. That right there, that's the secret sauce. That's the core skill of a true expert AI user.
And that's how it all clicks into place. Once you start practicing, using that S.A.F.E framework will just become second nature. Those security levels, they'll give you a super fast way to size up any task before you dive in. But the most important thing to remember is that your professional judgment is and always will be the final word. These AIs are amazing assistants for sure, but never forget that you are the expert in the room.
So, I'll leave you with this final thought to chew on. Most of us have spent our entire careers learning what information is important, what to say, and how to use our knowledge. But in this new age of AI, maybe, just maybe, the most valuable professional skill we can possibly develop is a deep, disciplined understanding of what not to share with these new digital colleagues of ours.